Durham's final report is released. Prosecutor says FBI did not have any factual evidence to investigate Trump-Russia collusion, and slams Bias Bureau for failing to properly probe Steele dossier. Special counsel John Durham found that the FBI did not have enough factual evidence to investigate allegations of Trump-Russia collusion. In scathing report obtained by DailyMail.com Monday, Durham's report, which is over 300 pages, is a comprehensive summary of findings related to whether the then-Trump campaign in 2016 colluded with Russia to meddle with the election outcome. It found that the Department of Justice and the FBI failed to uphold their mission of strict fidelity to the law when launching the Trump-Russia probe. The special counsel transmitted the report on his 4-year-long investigation, costing over $6 million in taxpayer dollars, to Attorney General Merrick Garland on Friday. The Attorney General provided a copy Monday to top members of Congress, including Senate Judiciary Chairman Dick Durbin, Ranking Member Lindsey Graham, House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, who is investigating the FBI's political weaponization, and Ranking Member Jerry Nadler. Durham writes in the report, based on the evidence gathered in the multiple exhaustive and costly federal investigations of these matters, including the instant investigation, neither U.S. law enforcement nor the intelligence community appears to have possessed any actual evidence of collusion in their holdings at the commencement of the Crossfire Hurricane investigation. Crossfire Hurricane was the internal code name for an investigation by the FBI that began in 2016 to look into possible links between the then-Trump campaign and Russia. However, it has since been exposed that the entire basis for the investigation was founded on false information. As a result, Special Counsel John Durham was appointed in 2019 by then-Attorney General Bill Barr to look into misconduct related to the Crossfire Hurricane probe. The speed and manner in which the FBI opened and investigated Crossfire Hurricane during the presidential election season, based on raw, unanalyzed, and uncorroborated intelligence, also reflected a noticeable departure from how it approached prior matters involving possible attempted foreign election inference plans aimed at the Clinton campaign. The report continues. FBI records prepared by Strzok in February and March 2017 show at the time of opening Crossfire Hurricane, the FBI had no information in its holding, indicating that any time during the campaign, anyone in the Trump campaign had been in contact with any Russian intelligence officials. The document goes on to detail many missteps by the FBI in its initial opening of the probe, which was predicated on an unvetted dossier created by British spy Christopher Steele. Our investigation determined that the Crossfire Hurricane investigators did not and could not corroborate any of the substantive allegations contained in the Steele reporting. The report mentions Igor Danchenko, Steele's primary subsource, saying that Danchenko was also unable to provide any corroborating evidence to support the Steele allegations. Durham blasts the FBI for failing to interview Charles Dolan, a Democratic public relations operative who was connected to Dmitry Peskov, Russian President Vladimir Putin's press secretary, and who was a definite source for at least one of the allegations contained in the Steele report. The report includes blistering language saying that Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act (FISA) applications opened by the FBI as part of Crossfire Hurricane were not created out of a mission of strict fidelity to the law. FBI personnel working on the FISA applications displayed, at best, a cavalier attitude towards accuracy and completeness and disregarded important requirements on multiple occasions, says Durham. He says it is evidence that the FBI officials did not genuinely believe there was probable cause to believe that the target was knowingly engaged in clandestine intelligence activities on behalf of a foreign power. The FBI at the time of Crossfire Hurricane's opening was led by former Director James Comey and former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. Although the report does not recommend any wholesale changes in guidelines or policies of the Department of Justice, it says there is a continuing need for the agencies to recognize the lack of analytical rigor and apparent confirmation bias. The FBI responded to the report in a statement Monday, saying that there are corrective actions in place now that would have prevented missteps in 2016. The conduct in 2016 and 2017 that Special Counsel Durham examined was the reason that current FBI leadership already implemented dozens of corrective actions, which have now been in place for some time, the FBI told DailyMail.com. Had those reforms been in place in 2016, the missteps identified in the report could have been prevented. This report reinforces the importance of ensuring the FBI continues to do its work with the rigor, objectivity, and professionalism the American people deserve and rightly expect. House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan confirmed to DailyMail.com that he will be requesting Durham appear before his committee next week. He has already reached out to Dodge regarding his demand, sending a letter requesting Durham to be on Capitol Hill next Thursday, May 25th, at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Former President Trump celebrated the findings in the report in a post to his Truth Social account Monday afternoon. Wow! After extensive research, Special Counsel John Durham concludes the FBI never should have launched the Trump-Russia probe. In other words, the American public was scammed, just as it is being scammed right now by those who don't want to see greatness for America. The former president continued. Trump had repeatedly railed about the Russia probe, blasting it as a witch hunt over the years. In 2019, Special Counsel Robert Mueller released a report finding that there was no collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign in 2016. 3 individuals have been indicted by Durham throughout his 4-year probe, including Clinton attorney Michael Sussman, Igor Danchenko, and former FBI lawyer Kevin Clinesmith. Durham has only successfully obtained 1 conviction out of his years-long investigation. Clinesmith pleaded guilty to illegally altering an email that was then used as the basis to obtain a surveillance warrant on Carter Page, who was serving as a Trump campaign staffer in 2016. This is a breaking news report and will be updated. FBI Dodge's Trump-Russia collusion probe was seriously flawed, no basis in evidence when opened. Durham. The FBI investigation of former President Donald Trump's alleged collusion with Russia in 2016 was seriously flawed and had no basis in evidence, Special Counsel John Durham said in a report released Monday. Durham concluded his 4-year review with a scathing indictment of official bias in the probe, which fueled Pulitzer Prize-winning coverage of Trump's theorized conspiracy with the Kremlin to win the White House. It is the office's assessment that the FBI discounted or willfully ignored material information that did not support the narrative of a collusive relationship between Trump and Russia, Durham wrote. Similarly, the FBI Inspection Division report says that the investigators repeatedly ignored away evidence, contrary to the theory the Trump campaign had conspired with Russia. It appeared that there was a pattern of assuming nefarious intent, he added. An objective and honest assessment of these strands of information should have caused the FBI to question not only the predication for the investigation, but also to reflect on whether the FBI was being manipulated for political or other purposes. Unfortunately, it did not. Durham, the former Connecticut U.S. attorney who was tapped to lead the review in 2019 by then Attorney General Bill Barr, dug deep into the origins of Operation Crossfire Hurricane, but his final report didn't urge new criminal prosecutions. The FBI's leak-ridden investigation began in summer 2016 and ultimately dragged on under Special Counsel Robert Mueller through more than half of Trump's term in office, with a granular stream of leaks to the media, creating the impression of damning evidence mounting against Trump. Mueller ended his investigation in March 2019, after finding no evidence of a conspiracy between the then-president and Russia. Trump, 76, celebrated the Durham report, writing on social media, "Wow, after extensive research, Special Counsel John Durham concludes the FBI never should have launched the Trump-Russia probe. In other words, the American public was scammed, just as it is being scammed right now by those who don't want to see greatness for America." Trump is seeking a second non-consecutive term after losing the 2020 election to President Biden, and has long contended the Russia investigation was part of a witch hunt against him, pointing in the past to evidence of bias, such as the fact that FBI official Peter Strzok, who launched the probe, swapped anti-Trump text messages with his mistress, FBI lawyer Lisa Page. Durham found investigators ignored exculpatory evidence, put too much stock in information provided by Trump's political opponents, and carried out surveillance without genuinely believing there was probable cause to do so. Throughout the duration of Crossfire Hurricane, facts and circumstances that were inconsistent with the premise that Trump and/or persons associated with the Trump campaign were involved in a collusive or conspiratorial relationship with the Russian government were ignored or simply assessed away, Durham wrote. In the executive summary of the 306-page report, which was submitted to Attorney General Merrick Garland Friday and released Monday afternoon, the special counsel wrote that investigators acted without appropriate objectivity or restraint in pursuing allegations of collusion or conspiracy between a U.S. political campaign and a foreign power. However, Durham stopped short of recommending significant reforms of the FBI, writing that the answer is not the creation of new rules, but a renewed fidelity to the old. The report further corroborates key details of the saga, including that Hillary Clinton, the 2016 Democratic presidential nominee, was aware her campaign was indirectly paying former British spy Christopher Steele to dig up dirt on supposed Trump-Russia ties. The special counsel also devoted analysis to the FBI's disinterest in tips that Clinton was smearing Trump as a Russian agent to distract from the release of hacked emails, showing she and Democratic Party bosses collaborated to crush Senator Bernie Sanders' left-wing candidacy for the Democratic nomination.